Welcome into the Kazual Sportz playoff pregame, postgame show right here at Ball Arena, home of Game 2 from the Denver Nuggets. Earl Burnett, a.k.a. Casual E here. I'm going to be having my man Flex from Jersey come in soon. We're going to talk a little bit about this game. But in the meantime, I got the box scores, the final score, of course, under 100 points for both teams. But the Suns' defense was very, very, very good today. Uh, they made it tough on the Nuggets as far as not letting Murray get loose. So here's my man Flex, and we're going to get him in right now and talk this Suns thing with y'all real quick. What's going on, Flex?
What up, my man?
Hey, sorry, man, to get you. I know you got some busy phone stuff going down. And I don't want you to come on here and try to report anything right now, but at the same time, go ahead and give us a little quick what you thought about tonight's game and going forward, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, tough loss, man. I mean, this was a winnable game. This was a
Absolutely.
winnable game.
That's the title
Yo,
of my freaking article, bro.
yeah, it's
A winnable game gets away from the Suns.
winnable game. Hold them to
Man,
97 points.
right,
You hold Jamal to 10 points.
right.
Terrible shooting performance. They did a good job. Um, the game swung. The air kind of came out the building with the Chris Paul thing. That's what it comes down to. The minute
Okay.
Chris Paul got hurt, it's crazy because I was on the phone talking to one of my contacts close to the team during the game,
Okay.
right before Chris's injury. And I was telling him, I'm like, we figured him out. Chris is looking
Yep.
good. Chris is snaking through the pick and roll. He's hitting the mid
Yep.
range, and the game is slowing down. It
Yep.
looks like they're figuring him out. And then Chris, pops the groin. So tough loss. But I tell you what, I give me a minute here. I wanna make sure I get this out, Earl.
Oh
I,
yeah,
I want to make
absolutely,
sure
absolutely,
I
absolutely.
want to make sure I get this out because I know there's a lot of in the next 48 to 72 hours. There's going to be a lot of talking and a lot of bashing and a lot of hey, this is
Yes.
over.
Yes.
And I tell you what, there ain't nobody in that locker room that feels that way.
Right.
Um, I, Devin Booker and Kevin Durant are too good at basketball players. This series is far from over. I think guys like Campaign, Torrey Craig, T.J. Warren, Terrence Ross. I think that this is now the time when you go back to Phoenix and you say, "Man, we got
Okay.
nothing else to lose, guys. Let's rock."
Exactly. I that's the question I was going to ask you next. And when does Monty get over the loyalty and I can't get the words out. I don't want to say anything bad about Monty, but I'm just saying it. The stubbornness of sticking to that same roster that's not working as far as the bench
Yeah,
play goes. And I
I
would
think
love
that
to see
stops now.
Ross exactly. And you could sum this whole game up, game 2, like you just said, a winnable game, and you sum it up to shot making.
Yeah,
Because we had the game under control for 3.5 quarters or 3 quarters, and as soon as we sat on that 73 points for like 6 minutes, we couldn't make
yeah,
shots. And they got
yeah,
good shots, guys that are in that corner where the moment may be too big for them, like the Craigs and the Kogies and the Damian Lees to make those shots, or is that just a product of the road? How the road team doesn't shoot as well on the road.
No, man, listen, Earl, I'm gonna be very honest and you know my relationship with this basketball team. You you
Right.
know you know some of my behind the scenes contacts, and so I'm very cautious about when I criticize players, at least
Correct.
publicly, because
Correct.
I have relationships behind the scenes and I don't want to cross any lines. But
Got you.
um yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Tonight's a night where you got to call a spade a spade. Like you got to
Man.
play basketball, guys. Like Josh Okogie, you're 5 feet from
Right.
the rim, layup, open
Take
lane,
the
and
take the
you pass it
layup.
up, and you
Right.
pass it up, right? You
Right.
got guys hesitating on shots. So my thing is going to be real simple. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing if I'm coaching this team. I'm saying, listen, first of all, We were up 2-0 in the finals, and we were up 2-0 against Dallas last year and lost
Correct.
both those series. So 2-0 coming back home does not mean the series is over. That's number
That's
one.
correct.
Number two, I am going to say this, and I mean this, Earl. And if I'm wrong, when we talk on Friday, you can bring it up.
Okay.
The free throw disparity, the
Oh, it's
whistle in the
ridiculous.
playoffs
It's
always
ridiculous.
leads the home team. It's
Right.
Don't take my word for it. When I'm done with this with you, go on your phone. Look at the free throws for every home team in the playoffs. 95% the home team's getting the whistle. Okay?
Right. Correct.
Now the Suns are going to go home and hopefully have a friendly whistle. The crowd is going to help role players. Role players play better at home. That's why they're role players.
Exactly.
So I don't think this series is over. I actually think it's
I
comical that people think it might be over. This series is far
right.
from over.
Right. I'm going to echo what you just said, because what you just said earlier about we figured them out. Monty said that exact same thing in the presser. He said exactly that exact same thing. He said we got some things that we've done out there that slowed down Murray and did some things that figured out how they play in the pick and roll. We figured them out.
Yeah,
The only caveat, the only thing wrong was we just didn't make shots. That's it.
yeah. And
That's
and
it.
Chris Paul got
And
hurt
Chris Paul goes down. Right. Right.
mid game, and this is tough. Let me say this, man. You got a guy in campaign who didn't play the whole first round.
Correct.
He didn't play game one of this series. You have to know, you have to believe that confidence is a little bit low with campaign. Okay,
Right.
he's doubting
Right.
himself. Now you tell him, okay, I'm going to let you play, and he looks good to start the game, but then he gets in quick foul trouble. Get 3 quick fouls. Okay,
Right.
and then in the midst of playing in mud, in a war, in the jungle, in Denver, in a playoff game, almost the fourth quarter, your point guard goes down, and now you give him the keys to the Maserati and say, drive this sucker home. That's
Drive
hard.
it home. Yeah.
That's
That is
hard.
tough.
Okay.
On the
Now
road. Yeah.
on the road. So now you're gonna go home and you're gonna get some home cooking. You're gonna lay in your bed, and guess what? You know what I'm doing with campaign? I'm driving him right down to the Verizon Performance Center, and I'm showing him tape of who he was against the Lakers and the Clippers 2 years ago.
2
That's it.
years ago. Right. Right.
I'm showing him that he can do this. Chris Paul had COVID, you covered from. Chris Paul hurt his shoulder, you covered from. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so campaign can do it. This team has still got some life in them. Torrey Craig that played in that Clipper series is still Torrey Craig. I believe he's going to hit some shots, and I do believe that it's time to go to T.J. Warren and Terrence Ross. You got to shake
I
things
think
up. You
so,
got nothing to
bro.
lose. You
That's
got
it.
nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that, because I was at the practice yesterday, and I'm watching those two guys, and they don't look like they're missing anything as far as not picking up the scheme. They don't look like they're. I mean, Terrence Ross may still be in some form of a shooting slump, but how do you get out of a slump if you don't get a chance to shoot?
Yeah,
So
shoot, baby. You
your
got to let
shooters
him
got to
shoot.
shoot. You got to let them shoot. I mean, especially when you're looking at the how Durant and Booker are setting those guys up where they got wide open threes, and we're
Yeah,
missing them. Tonight we
yeah.
had 3 occasions where there was a wide open three that would have kept us in the lead, but we just didn't have the guys that can stand in there and make those shots.
That's right.
It's time to get those guys on the court, bro. I mean, especially TJ. TJ in the bubble was a star. I mean, he can put the ball in the hole.
Nah,
Why
TJ's
are
a
we not
bucket.
giving
His
this
name is
guy?
Tony
Yeah, yeah.
Buck.
Why are we
His
not
name is Tony
exactly?
Buckets, man.
I don't
I
understand
mean,
it, bro. I don't understand it, but
yeah. I mean, it's
um,
it's time. It's time. You know
yeah.
what? I'll say one last thing. I'm sorry to cut you off,
Okay.
but I just want to
No,
make
go
sure I
good.
don't miss this point. I'm a big believer in blessings in disguise. I always tell you this. I always say sometimes you look at things and it looks bad, what's right
Hmm.
in front of you, and then you end up saying, "Damn, I would if that didn't happen." Okay, like I'm gonna go ahead and say this emphatically: if Devin Booker doesn't hurt his hamstring in Denver on Christmas Day, we probably don't got Kevin Durant. That's a
That's
fact. I
true.
mean, think
True.
all these little things happen. So I'm going to tell you this. I think Terrence Ross and TJ Warren are guys that, if we're going to win a championship, are going to have to do something for us. And now I
Correct.
think they're going to be forced into the
Forced to do it. Yeah.
fire. Right. And so maybe we look at this and we say, you know what? Chris going down is unfortunate, and hopefully he'll get back soon. But that was the night that basically we forced some guys into action, and hopefully they play a bigger role. But I'm looking
I
forward to
agree.
Friday, man. I'm not nervous,
I
man.
am too. Real quick before we get you out of here, man.
Hmm.
Kazual Sportz here in Denver covering game 2, heading back to, of course, our hometown in Phoenix to do game 3. Give me just a quick assessment of where you think Kevin is right now as far as handling the physicality. I mean, he's been turning the ball over at a high clip the last few games, and I know it's because they're not getting the whistle like they should be getting the whistle. Him as a superstar not getting the whistle as he should be getting the whistle. How do you assess his game going forward and going home? And as a leader, can he get this team to follow him from the standpoint of not letting those refs affect them?
Yeah, Listen, I think Kevin's gonna be fine. I think we're seeing the signs of the chemistry and the continuity stuff that we talked about earlier. I
Right,
think you're seeing a
right.
little bit of that. But I think Kevin's been in this league long enough to know how to handle some of these things. I
Okay.
think if you're going, I tell you what, here's the way I'm gonna sum this up.
Okay.
If you want me to get on a plane down 2-0, going back to Phoenix, and you give me two guys I could be on the plane with, I want Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. And
Okay.
that's just it, brother.
Period.
I'm
Period.
those two guys. I believe in them enough to know that they're gonna come out Friday. They know what's in front of them. I don't like cursing, but Devin said it in the press conference. I live for this shit. So
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
want those guys. I want those guys. I think Kevin's gonna be fine, and I do believe the whistle was being is part of the frustration. But I got a feeling that whistle's gonna flip these next two games in Phoenix. I really do.
Yeah.
I just
I
think
do
that's
too.
what the
I do
playoffs
too.
have shown. Yeah, the playoffs have
Well,
shown
guys
that.
like
So
those, yeah, guys like Devin Booker and Kevin Durant shouldn't have a problem with any type of pressure situation, and I'm hoping that their level of confidence can trickle down to this bench and get somebody to just step up and hit some shots. That's the difference in this whole thing so far is making
yeah,
shots, and
yeah,
and and,
yeah.
and I'm hoping that chemistry comes along, and we still been learning it on the fly. Do you think you can still win a championship, learn it on the fly in round 2 of a playoff
You,
series?
you know what, Earl? It's funny. I was having this talk with one of my again close contacts with the Suns yesterday,
Right.
and that very question came up. And I'm
Okay.
gonna say honestly, um, I think this team is more built for next year than they ever were for this year. Okay.
Exactly. Okay.
With that said, um, I think they have a fighter's punch to beat anybody that's left in the playoffs in the 7-game
I
series.
do too.
Do
I do too.
Yeah, I think they have a fighter's punch. But am I going to be devastated, Earl, if they don't win a championship this year? No, because I
Wow.
never. When the
You've
minute
already
we made
called
the
that a
Kevin
long
Durant
time
trade,
ago. Yeah, you said that a long time
right,
ago that they were
right.
next year team, not this year. I remember that. Yeah.
This is for next year. So
Right.
everything that happens this year is gravy. Yeah, I like their chances. They have a fighter's punch. They have a
Okay.
puncher's chance, I would say.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
and I think they embrace this opportunity. It's the first time they've been down 2-0. If you're going to win a championship, man, you better go look in the history books. You don't win.
There you go.
Listen, tell me an NBA champion that's never came back from 2-0. I mean, they all
Exactly.
do it. They all
They
do
all
it. So
do it.
this is the
Yeah.
first time. This is the first time that they've been in this spot, and it's going to be good learning experience. I think they get it done. I think they come back to Denver 2-2, brother. I
All
really
right,
do.
man. And there's a reason why they always say the series don't start till somebody loses at home. So hey,
That's right.
we're right at status quo. We get our 2 at home, and it's a 3-game series after that. But hey, Flex, man, I know it's late over there on the East Coast. Thank you for coming in, bro. And
You got it, brother.
I'm pretty sure you'll be on the phone all night. Give us the update in the morning, probably on your Twitter page.
Yep.
Tell everybody where to go get that update, of course, on Chris Paul. And I guess we'll catch you next time, bro. I'm about to head on this plane and get out of here and head back down to the
Go
valley.
ahead, get
So
out of there, man. Safe
appreciate it,
travels,
bro.
man. We'll talk soon. I send out the
All right.
updates. Love you, my brother, and we'll talk soon.
All right, bro. Absolutely.
Later,
Have a good
bro.
night. Kazual Sports Radio
Yep.
Network. Catch you next time, Planet Orange. Peace out.